things have to happen for certain reasons, and he has to go. I get a lot in his presence, but I also get a lot in his absence. So I guess I found a lot of peace in that whole process, and a lot of healing, a lot of grief start processing, and I start seeing things in a different manner. And I do believe there's a bigger intelligence out there. Someone might call God, someone might call the universe, whatever that is, and it happens for a reason. And that have shifted how I see life. I think my worldview changed on those events.
Welcome to the EO Business Podcast. I am your host, Linh Podetti, and I'm excited to bring you another inspiring conversation with a fellow entrepreneur, Ivan Tan. Ivan is the founder of Whistle Clean Australia, a commercial cleaning company based in Melbourne. He's also part of the Eco Accelerator program and has been a member since 2021. Now, in today's episode, we dive into his incredible journey, one of resilience, transformation, and purpose. From running away from home at a young age to juggling 6 jobs just to make ends meet, Ivan faced immense challenges. But it was the passing of his father that became a pivotal moment, leading him to discover his true mission in life. Join me as we welcome Ivan Tan to the show.
This episode is sponsored by Outsourcing Angel, your partner for skilled remote staff in LinkedIn marketing, lead generation, customer support, and more. As a social enterprise, we donate 10% of profits to charity and provide heart-centered remote staff who go the extra mile for your success. Visit outsourcingangel.com.
Welcome to the show, Ivan. So good to see you again.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for that opportunity to see you in person in Melbourne as well. You actually live in a suburb where one of my house is there. And I really got to learn a lot about you and especially your personal story. So I can't wait to deep dive into that. But before we start, I would love to hear a little bit about your journey and how you got into the cleaning business.
Yeah, I guess it all started out when I was made redundant in a full-time job. I put all of my heart and soul into the job, and 3 months before my wedding, I was made redundant, and I was felt unjust, unfair. Wasn't those good emotions in a way after that termination? And then I decided not to go back to 9 to 5, and let's see where the journey leads me to. I ended up working 6 different jobs. I work in a pizza restaurant. I sell cameras during the day, and then I do cleaning after that as well. And then on the weekend, I take wedding photos, and also sell stuff on eBay just to get by. And the one that leads me to, after 2 years later, cleaning is the one that becomes the promising one. Yeah.
Okay. And so how long ago was that? And tell me more about why did you feel cleaning was the one? Was it easy to find clients? Was it a girl, one of the best cleaners, or what is it that made you pick that?
No, it's all by coincidence, Lynn. I still remember in the middle of working in the pizza restaurant, I was cleaning dishes, and one of my friend rang me and said, "I got a friend come over from Perth, and his name is Donnie. Do you want to meet him?" I said, "Oh, great! I don't have much work tonight. I can meet you so slightly before midnight." And then we catch up for coffee. And in the middle of understanding Donnie's story a bit more, I came to know Donnie run a commercial cleaning business, and it was successful. I think he got like 200 clients. He got hospital, clinics, offices, shopping centers. It's huge. It's successful. So, and he ended up asking me a question like, asking about life. And I thought to share about my situation. And then he said, I run a commercial cleaning business, and it seems to be working okay. And at the end of the conversation, he came to me that, Ivan, are you keen to start a business together? I said, whoa, this is great. Like, I've been looking for an opportunity, but any opportunity comes, I'll grab my hands on. And that's how this all started. So just by someone that resonated to my story, because he founded his company, very similar situation as well. He gone through a hard time. He came over from overseas, and then people give him opportunity. And I guess he also want to pass on the good deeds too. And I'm the fortunate one, I guess.
And how many years ago was that? And where is it now? Are you serving usually around Melbourne only, or who's your target audience for your
So
business?
we do commercial cleaning, specialize in commercial offices, medical clinics, childcares, predominantly in Melbourne. That's what we specialize in.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And how many years ago did you say you started?
Oh, this is 10 years ago, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other interesting thing that I want to deep dive into this conversation is really about, I guess, your background when you were growing up. You had your fair share of challenges, and yet you have become an entrepreneur, running your own business. You know, like you just mentioned, you were working 6 jobs, and yet you are where you are. So I want to take you back to when you mentioned to me that you even ran away at the age of 10. Now, what happened there, and how did you eventually evolve in your life?
Right, I guess, I grew up in Malaysia, so I was born in Malaysia. We are in family of 4. My father worked really hard, to provide his best for his family. Uh, and mom is a perfectionist, put it that way. So things has to be done in her way, growing up so in a very strict environment. And I have a rebellious and adventurous personality, put it that way. So there's one day, I think around age, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, around those age, I was playing bikes with my friend. And while chasing him, I actually slip and then fall into a drain. I was soaked with drain water after that. And I know this is not looking great, but I still need to get home. So by the time I get home, I know mom gonna get mad, and she gone crazy. And she's a clean freak. So for me, fall into a drain is the complete opposite of that. And I know I'm gonna get some beating on that time. So I end up running away to a local playground. So she just kept chasing me around. And at one point I look back at her and I know the expression that she just gone berserk. I said, I got to stop there and just let her beat me, and then I can just move on in life. When I stopped, she just lift out a wooden plank and then she just hit me out of it. So at that age, for me, it's kind of like I'm just having fun with my friends. I don't deserve that kind of beating. Yes, I got dirty, but I don't deserve that. So end up, I went back home, cleaned on myself, took my bike off the house, went to my godmother's house and just crying my eyes out. It's just like just not fair being treated that way. So I think that was probably one of the experience that I remember. When adults life, one of those memories that always pop up. Yeah, that memory is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can really relate as well. I don't know whether it's because we live in an Asian household. Our parents can be quite strict and restrictive that even I personally ran away, not at 10 years old, but I ran at 15 years old. But you also mentioned your parents were really hardworking as well, and mine was too. And in a way, I never got to experience freedom and happiness when I was younger. So I ended up
Mm.
really seeking that freedom. And that's why having my own business was my kind of way out to freedom. Would love to hear a bit about, yeah, your experience growing up with parents that were hardworking and maybe being Asian. What was it like?
I think I'm quite lucky in a different way, in a way that my dad always encouraged us to be ourselves. I think the goal is to be happy, but you need to do well in life. I'll provide whatever it is you need, but you need to do well in life. I guess the expectation wasn't pushed, but no, I want to do well. It's coming from within. I want to do well and make him proud in from that aspect. To answer your question, I guess the dynamic, it's always you need to work hard, you need to study hard so that you can do well in life. I guess that kind of roadmap has been imprinted in our daily lives. And then, like you said, by the time I go to college, it's a time that I get out of home and suddenly I can experience those freedom with friends. It's like, oh, it just exploded and life just kick started on there, I guess. Yeah.
Mm. So your parents were quite supportive. They weren't, I mean, apart from your mum smacking you, they were, yeah, I guess supportive Asian parents, not like those tiger parents, like the way that I experienced.
Yeah, I think they're supportive a tiger in some way, Lee, to be honest.
And did you ever thought you would become an entrepreneur, or was, finding a good job instilled in your mind?
Nah, like starting a business is never in my head. Not until I was made redundant, but throughout my whole life, it's just kind of like, let's work hard, find a good employer and stick there. And I still remember the last work job that I had is kind of, I think it comes to a tipping point where I reported directly to my director, which is the owner of the business. And it's really two of my career move reporting to a director that I hit a glass ceiling. That's like, I want to break that glass ceiling, but I'm not sure where am I going to be. In that work environment, it gives me a wake up call in a way that the culture is very micromanaging. At that point of time, I wasn't aware it was micromanaging. It wasn't a term that hits in my head. But what I realized is people are not willing to help each other. It's just kind of like, I don't want to play politics. I have enough problems to deal with within my role. I'm not going to help, even though I see you needing help, but I'm not going to help you. It's just that I don't want to get involved in, making someone upset, or just see someone and I'm not doing my job and I got blamed in certain ways. It's under those sort of environment where you all constantly felt someone is looking over your shoulder. And I can understand it because even my I was a procurement manager. So for
Mm.
do my job, I have to constantly getting asked like, how's the progress? How's the progress? I have to kind of like back off. Let me do my job. I give you the results, but don't micromanage me. I have to fight for that. So I guess that environment, I kind of realized what I don't want to be in the workplace and kind of moving towards what I want move after that.
Yeah, yeah. And so you had the opportunity to start your business, and what was it like in your first year? What were some of the challenges that you feel like looking back? Yeah, those were tough times that you could share. If someone's listening, maybe they're planning to start the next cleaning business.
Look, at the very beginning, it's long hours of work, to be honest. I work 6 different jobs. My typical day normally start at 7:30. I work until like maybe 4 selling cameras. Then right after that, maybe 5:30, I start in a pizza restaurant until 11:30. And then I'll start cleaning offices. So probably about 3 or 4. I have sleep 3, 4 hours and then start my day again. That is just routine for about a year and a half, 2 years. So during that time, things can be quite challenging in a way that not hiring the right person. I have team members stealing money from the pizza restaurant in the tip jar. Uh, Owner didn't even tell us because it's not my fault, but he knows that I hold integrity in quite high level, but then it's kind of out of even control. But let's support him in a way, throughout his business journey. So I was fortunate in some ways that I always meet good people, good clients, and good cleaners after that. Uh, Hard work is definitely there. Like I work one day, finish at 12 o'clock, and then let's clean some offices and so forth. I get someone to help me, and the guy didn't turn up. So I end up have to clean the rest of the day until like 6 o'clock in the morning, run back home, take 20 minutes nap, shower, start my day again. So during those sort of days, um, to be honest, it's hard. I don't feel it's hard at that point of time because I felt that I have the freedom that I actually feel happy and enjoy the whole process. So for some reason, I didn't feel it's a hard way. But one thing I miss is at the time I just got married. I don't have much time with my wife at the time. So that's
Mm.
the thing I miss the most. But throughout that whole journey, it has been a meaningful journey at that point of time, the starting point. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were kind of this so cleaning started off in a way like a side hustle because you still had all these other jobs. When did you actually decide to go all in and, start treating it like a real business where you're now focused fully on this?
Um, the 3 directors in the first business didn't work out really well. So we spent a lot of time discussing and arguing within each other rather than doing the work. So comes to one point that look, I said I'm out. It doesn't looks like this going to work, and we come to a solution where you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm out. But I've keen like I want to start my own and so forth. Then I got blessing by Donnie. Donnie said, look, if you want to go, take your clients with you. Then I said, no, I want to respect the other business owner as well. I wouldn't want to bring the clients with me, but I'm happy to start over. And then having the conversation with another business owner, another business partner, I said, look, if you're out, I'm out too. I don't want to run this business anymore. I said, if that's the case, I'll pay you, I'll buy over your share and I just run the business and start all over again, but bring the client across to a new business entity. So I think after that incident, I kind of feel happy in a way that now I can control and run the way that I want it to be. I don't need to call to anyone. And suddenly all those freedom comes to me. At the same time, the responsibility is there too. Uh, it's hard at the same time, it's enjoyable. Like, wow, this is something that I can play with.
Yeah. You mentioned to me when I asked you the other day when we were having dinner was around, how did you get your first few clients? And you said you were door knocking and you still Do you still do that nowadays? But yeah, love to hear a bit of your hustle side because I love that attitude of yours. Just, really making sure you do whatever it takes to build the business.
Yeah, so door knocking is definitely one of them. Like I walking on doors on the street. I'll pick a suburb. There's a lot of like offices, childcare, medical clinics, and just pitch my service. And that's why there are certain suburbs in Melbourne that were really strong because those are the suburbs that I door knock year after year and go back after and after and got really strong. And now it comes 10 years later. Our business is a bit more mature right now. Now we're revisiting that idea, and now I door knock with roses just to spray around, have my business card inside a bit cheeky, a bit fun, and come to understand that when I walk in roses, that their guard are lowered down, then I can have a conversation rather than selling you a service. So I think that approach is a playful approach, put it that way.
Yeah. Where did you learn that from? I really love that idea. I remember just giggling inside. Like, imagine this guy comes in, you're a receptionist, and then the guy comes with roses, and you can't help to smile already. And like, did you learn it from somewhere? What were some of the reactions? And do you jazz it up? Do you change your approach, or you keep doing that?
No, it's actually I was bouncing idea with my mentor. And then my mentor was kind of like, "How did you grow your business initially?" I said, "Door knocking." He said, "Well, that works. Now let's door knock again, but in a different like,
Mm.
how can you improve your door knocking experience in the past, but you can add value right now?" And because love is one of our core values, and he was like sharing ideas, throwing ideas on the board. And I was like, hang on, roses works. Our core value is love. It's kind of like click. So when I walk into an office, I will be like, look, I'm just spreading the love around and say hello. And it's kind of
Here's a rose for you. Yeah.
yeah, it's a softer way of approaching.
Yeah. And then do you had as I'm getting into more cold calling for my own business at the moment, what are some tips that you can share around that? Like, do you just ask them to connect you with the business owner, or is it the manager, or you just pass on a message to the receptionist? Like, what is your kind of sales process that you can share?
I think for me at this point of time, I can't comment much on cold calling, but for door knocking in a
We're
way
door knocking. Yeah.
when I guess when someone see value, the gut get down, lower down, and then you can have kind of a conversation. And at the end of the day, my intention, yes, I want to get you as a client, but my intention is kind of like, let's have a conversation when the timing is right. So I'll not in the approach of selling and then you get that friction. I kind of like I give you a value first. Think of us, it's a bit cheeky, have some fun and enjoy that rose as well. And then it comes my business card is there. I'm here for you.
Ah, okay. So it's really like introducing yourself, leaving your details there, and should something happen, they would call you, or maybe you could follow up. But it's not the aim is not to try to sell on the day. It's
Yeah.
about building a relationship. And you mentioned that your core value is around love, and I know that you've mentioned to me there's some videos of you talking about finding your purpose and seeing your business as not just a cleaning business. Can you elaborate on what you've discovered as you move further on into your business? It's no longer just something that just pays the bills, but what did you discover about your business?
I think at the very early stage of the business, I start working with a lot of hardworking people. And when I start hiring cleaners, I realized they work 12 hours, 14 hours a day, some of them even 16 hours a day. And I normally ask them, why do you want to work so hard? Their answer typically touch my heart. Their answer normally says that, no, on my first pay, I want to buy a walking stick for my elderly mom overseas. Or I want to send money back home for my parents so that they can have better quality of life. Or I want to send my kids to a better school, better education. Or I want to have an investment house so that my family have the financial stability. Their reason of working hard is always for other people.
Mm.
Me, that is very empowering. That's very inspiring. What I don't get it is why society and culturally don't give them the respect they deserve and the integrity they deserve as a human being. For that, I can't take it. So, yes, at the at the beginning when I start the business, I get those treatments too. But I think at that point of time, I just want to deliver the cleaning service, but I didn't take it personally. But years after years, it's kind of you digest those things. Hang on, I experienced this. What does that really mean? What really happens? And then I come to know that look, these people are looking for a good work environment to elevate their life. So I guess 2-3 years ago, I was looking for purpose. What is the purpose running my business in a way? And that comes out to a purpose for me running the business. And for us right now, if we want to grow, let's grow together with the right people and the right client and build an empowering environment for the cleaners. And then the core values comes in, like our core values is 5: love, trust, growth, integrity, and contribution. And then
Mm.
a core focus of cleaning with love and integrity. That's our core focus, and to improve quality of life for people. Then now with the core value and our purpose, you can make decision yourself. So you don't need to come to management to make decisions. So I would make decision on the ground, so that because they are the first one get interactions with the clients. They know best what's the situation and they know the best action to take. So with those core values and the purpose, you can make decision yourself and then just tell this to them. Just empower
That's
them.
really interesting. So it felt like you were going on a mission to discover like the purpose and found your core value. Was there a process that you went through? Was it you're just doing an exercise on your own, or you did a workshop, or did you involve your existing employees? Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about how you discovered it.
I think I came across EOS. We self-implemented for a year and a half. Then after that, we get coach to come in for a good, I think 6 to 8 months, and then that we solidify what we're really doing, and then just close the gaps of what we self-implemented. And then with the coach coming in, then right after that, in the EO environment, there's multiple businesses implemented EOS, and they just bounce idea off each other, and just improve the process all from there. Yeah.
Mm. And so I guess this applies to you recruiting people. Now you only recruit cleaners who don't just clean well, but they are aligned with your values more. Is that how you are able to retain, reliable cleaners? Because I do know in that industry it can, it could be high turnover because it's an easy job. Everyone says I can do it, but they might not be really good at it. Yeah, how do you actually vet and make sure you get really good employees?
For us, it's personality comes first. If you don't have skill, I think that's trainable, but personality have to come first. You must have the hunger in life. You want to do well in life. Integrity is there. Trust is there. Trust is in a way that I measure trust in 2 ways. I can trust you as a person, and I can trust you to deliver the job. Either of that don't work, it doesn't work. You have to have on that two aspect of it. And then from there on, if your personality is great, we also have this personality test as well, because I have to explore where are your strength is. If your strength is more to people person, then a sales job is probably better for you. But if you are a detail person, more systematic, great. Let's have further conversation, because that's your strength come out of you naturally, effortlessly at a very high level, and then that's what we're attending to. Yeah,
Great.
our application process goes a bit longer.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Um, and we met in EO, and you were part of an EO accelerator program. I would love to learn more about, I guess, how did you find EO, and then what have been some of the support and guidance that you've got from being part of a program like that?
I came to know EO by accident actually. I was crewing an event in Tony Robbins, and we have a conversation with a friend. I know he runs a very successful business, and he told me that there's a community of people that helps him a lot. And I said, "Oh, what is this community called?" And he said YPO. Then I went back home. I googled. I said YPO. Gosh, like this is next level business. Uh, and I heard so I can't. I don't think I'm way far behind qualifying for YTO. And he said, "Oh, you can join EO. I think EO you can qualify for it." Then I Googled out EO, and that's how I found EO. And this 4 years ago, and I think the biggest thing I get away from EO is the people there are very inspiring. They to me they are just a different species of people. They care about people around them. And they run business not just to earn money. I think there's a bigger purpose behind the scene. Either no, they speak about it or they don't speak about it. Um, and I felt I'm not alone in the whole entrepreneur journey. It can be very lonely, and before EO, it was a lonely journey. But right after that, I felt that I'm in the community of people that understand me, and and I get a lot of value out of those people, and I would love to contribute back in any capacity that I have. Mm.
Yeah. And can you share a little bit about how the program works? Because a lot of my guests on the show are members of EO. And so we have different kind of program. We do a lot of events and forum, but with Accelerator, I believe it's different training modules and things like that. Are you able to share that with the audience?
Yeah, sure, of course. There's, I think there's key learning days. There are 4 key learning days per year. And we talk about strategy, people, execution, and cash. From there on is execution after that. So you come to a learning day, you get all the gold nuggets that you can implement into your business, and then you can take that 3 months to implement it before the next learning day. In between, we catch up on the monthly basis with a coach, typically a very successful, reputable people in EO, and then learn from the coach. So what that experience is, you set a goal, what you want to do on a monthly basis, and the coach and the group of people keep you accountable. If you have any questions, we catch up once a month. Just pour your heart out, either personal challenge, business challenge, hiring challenge, whatever that is. It's a community of people that go through together, and you feel that we're not alone in a way. Uh, it can be a lonely journey is running a business. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you, I really love the community because outside of our own little forum or groups that we catch up, we've got the WhatsApp community. And so, we're friends with some of them, the same friends. I go to Melbourne a lot. So I've realized that we know the same people and we can get access to the same people. So it's amazing. When I met up with you as well, you mentioned about your dad. I remember you mentioning that he taught you something, especially, when he passed away, you learnt a lesson. I'd love for you to share a little bit of that before we wrap up the show.
That has been look, I love my parents, but I crave his love more. And naturally I get a lot of his values subconsciously. So when growing up, he works long hours. He dedicated himself to his family and also charity cause as well back in Malaysia. So to me, I see him as love, respect, inspiration, contribution, growth. Um, and he was diagnosed with cancer in 2000. This is 2012 July, but he passed away in January. So just a month's time. So for him passing away with cancer is a big wake up call because no, what I've learned so far is as long as you be physically active, you eat healthy, you don't drink, you don't smoke, your health will be okay. He's the role model of that. But he passed with cancer. He also taught me you have to work hard, study hard, your life will be happy. His life is okay. I think his life can be better. So there's many rule books that I learned from him that doesn't really work. When he passed away, I start challenging all these things. Hang on, you are the role model that I look up to, and suddenly this role model didn't get to his life, the end goal that he wanted, and he just passed away that way. And it's makes you a big wake up call. Hang on, those rule book has to be challenged. So those things that I know doesn't work right now. So what really works? So it started that whole journey of finding that equation, what really works in life. And I was fortunate to meet great people after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you learnt and what's your approach to life now? I know you try to eat healthy and you're into your fitness, but what's your attitude towards life considering, I guess we don't know how long we have to live. How has that changed your approach to life?
I lost faith when I lost him. In a big way. I grown up in the Buddhist background, but we don't really practice much. But somehow we believe that there's some place that you go when you pass away. When I lost him, I think emotionally I don't know how to grieve in a way as well. And it's just kind of as men, we don't talk about mental health. Problem comes in, suck it up, move on. I guess I used that strategy as well. Then I didn't talk to my brother for 2 years because I resent him. He didn't come back on time to meet my dad. And at the back of my head, I was thinking, hang on, how can two brothers live in the same house but have such a different values? And I resent him, but of course I can't talk to him. So naturally came back to, so his funeral is back in Malaysia, come back to Melbourne. Of course, I drown myself with work, just don't want to feel anything. But in the journey of, say, coming back home, I'll be like driving in the car and tears just coming out from my eyes, and I don't know what happened. I'm still at a point where I start feeling angry, pissed off, frustrated on a daily basis. I don't know why I feel that way. And this is at the early stage of my marriage. And I don't know why I was so angry. And it comes to a point where I need to see psychologists and marriage counseling. We love each other. Me and my wife, we love each other, but we just don't know how to deal with each other. And I thought that it was her. After a few sessions with the psychologist asking me a few questions, I start realizing, hey man, the problem is not her, the problem is me. And the whole personal discovery journey started from there. And then one day I was door knocking, growing my business. And I come to this office, 2 levels, very newly renovated building. It looks like a great clients to land. If we land these clients, kind of like great, my life is going to turn around, that kind of mentality. Walking into the building, I realized there got 40 IT people on one floor, another 40 people on second floor. Rock up to the reception desk. Look, I want to pitch my cleaning business. Can I speak to someone in charge in this area? And then this middle-aged guy walk up, or I think about my age too, and he's the owner of the business. I said, how are you so young and you're so successful in a way running such a big IT company? So without any appointment, I have this conversation with him, and we talk about business for 10 minutes, and that conversation goes like 3.5 hours. It was quite surprised. And then in that conversation, he asked me questions like, Ivan, whose work do you follow? And I said, I don't quite understand the question. And he said, no, the works that you follow that inspire you, can guide you in life, guide you at work. I said, no, I don't have that kind of figure in life. And he started name dropping the name Tony Robbins, explaining like how Tony Robbins changed his life and so forth, and how he elevated his business with Tony Robbins' teaching. I said, oh, hang on, this guy kind of like have the answer that I've been looking for, either in life or in work. Then at that night, I went back home after my wife slept. Went to YouTube. I think I just researched Tony Robbins' video. Within 30 to 40 minutes, I get a lot of answers from YouTube. And I said, nah, that's it. I need to go to his event. Take out the credit card and then pay for it. At the time, financially, we are not really well. And my relationship, my wife was kind of like spicy in a way that, the next morning, I told her, look, I spent like X amount of money going to this event. And, guess what happened? We got another big fight again. But it was that event that changed me. And then the following year, I went for another event called Date with Destiny. And I guess there are memories that pops up that really changed my life. I think then faith has been a big place in a way. I guess I feel it in the gap there. So in 2018, I went to second Tony Robbins event. And in this event, on the second day, we have a close eye process. You kind of revisit what's happening in your life. And then this memory pops out. And this memory, I think I was about 11, 12 years old. I'm still quite young. And Dad was asking me to get into his office. He got some questions for me. And he showed me this brochure. And he said, look, son, I want to go to this event, but I'm not sure I should go or not. He got this look on his face that, he really wants to go. But I said, you're my father. Why do you ask me for permission? I'm your son. And he said, look, if I go, it's going to take 1 whole month of my salary to go. The Asian context is kind of like you work as hard as possible, you save as much as possible. You have 2 young kids, you need to prepare for their further education. There's an Asian mentality. So for him to take whole month of salary to go for an event, that's not even possible. So in that memory, when I look into the brochure, that brochure is actually Anthony Robbins. So I was bursting into tears that it's the event that he can't go, but I got the privilege to go. And I'm actually living his legacy. I have the opportunity to live the life that he wants to live. And back in 2017, Tony Robbins even shifted me on how I think. I no longer feel angry, pissed, or frustrated. It has been a big change in my life. And on the fourth year, I would say that I found faith in a way based on what I've experienced. Things have to happen for certain reasons, and he has to go. I get a lot in his presence, but I also get a lot in his absence. So I guess I found a lot of peace in that whole process, and a lot of healing, a lot of grief start processing, and I start seeing things in a different manner. And I do believe there's a bigger intelligence out there. Someone might call God, someone might call the universe, whatever that is, and it happens for a reason, and that have shifted how I see life. I think my worldview changed on those events.
Yeah, I love hearing that because I can definitely relate to it because sometimes we have to go to our bottom, to the worst thing that could happen to us for us to really discover, kind of go up from there. And surprisingly, I also found Tony Robbins during my darkest time in 2010. And I think he was life-changing as well. Well, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So ultimately, this leads me to a very relevant question is, what is your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for? Or what do you want your dad, if your dad was listening here, what would you wish that he said about you?
I think there's 4 things I really wanted to be my legacy. Unconditional love. I think
Mm.
a lot of people want to get love, but through a very significant way. But love is unconditional, and that's supposed to be that way. That's probably number 1. Number 2, I think abundance. The world's supposed to be abundance. I think humanity are not designed to work 9 to 5. There's a bigger purpose for it, and we are not supposed to be suppressed financially in a way too. I think abundance is definitely one of the things I'm also working on. Uh, the third thing is probably breaking limiting family beliefs. There's a lot of limiting beliefs has been passed on generation to generation. I'm very passionate about topics like this. Even myself, like I don't even know how to grieve. Like when I have the first conversation with my brother, he don't even know how to grieve. He don't even know how his brain works in a way. Uh, the fourth thing is to shine every individual's life. I do believe that every individual, every human beings on earth, they carry a very unique gifts, and it's our job to find out what's their talent, what is their God gifted gift, to exploit that. And I'm fortunately have a business to run, and I use that tools with all of my team just to go through all these exercises, find out if something for me. I define gift as in things that you can do for a very, very long hours, that you feel very energized, happy, joyous to do so, and you can produce at a very high level without any effort. For me, that's how I think everyone have that. It's just a matter of if we found that or not. So I think that's my 4 legacy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful, Ivan. I really enjoyed our conversation. I think we chatted for hours and hours and we got so philosophical. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure the audience would have loved that. And we'll put all the details in the description so that people can connect with you. So thank you again for your time.